Hello, my colleagues. Welcome back to the channel. You see, when I first started investing in the Nigerian stock market, I made a lot of mistakes. Some of them cost me money, some just left me confused. And honestly, I wish someone had sat me down and told me a few things before I started investing. The truth is, investing isn't complicated, but there are some lessons you can only learn through experience or from someone who's already been, through it. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you biggest lessons I've learned, the stuff I wish I knew from day one. Whether you're a total beginner or already investing, these tips will help you avoid costly mistakes and invest with more confidence in the Nigerian stock market. Now, before we dive in, do yourself a quick favor by hitting that like button, smash it. And if you are new here, subscribe so you don't miss more investing contents like this. This is what I love to do. And trust me, you want to stick around until the end. So let's jump into lesson number one. Let's go. Investing is a marathon and not a sprint. You see, when most people start investing in the Nigerian stock market, they are looking for that quick win. Buy today, sell next week, instant profits. I get it, guys. We all want those quick returns. But here's what nobody tells you. The real wealth in the stock market comes from patience. I've seen so many of my community members jump in and out of stocks, trying to time the market perfectly. And honestly, most of them ended up worse than if they had just bought and, they are patient and held. Let me give you a real example. If you had bought Zenith Bank shares 10 years ago and simply held onto them, you would have made steady returns through both dividends and price appreciation. Despite all the economic ups and downs Nigeria has faced, from oil price crashes to currency devaluation, long-term investors in solid companies like Zenith Bank have still come out in profits. Think about it this way: the Nigerian market will always have its volatile moments, and that's just our reality. But when you invest with a 5 to 10 or even 20 years mindset, these short-term fluctuations become much less important. So before you start always checking stock prices every hour or feeling anxious about daily market movement, remember this: the stock market rewards those who understand that wealth building is a slow, steady process. It's about consistency and not intensity. Now, let's talk about something that is seriously underrated in lesson number two, which is dividends are your best friends in the Nigerian stock market. You see, here's something you might not realize. Nigerian companies actually love paying dividends. While investors in other markets might focus on growth stocks that never pay a dime, we have this hidden gold mine here at home. Here's something you might not realize. Some Nigerian companies, especially banking companies, actually love paying dividends. You see, while investors in other markets might focus on growth stocks that never pay a dime, we have this hidden gold mine here at home. Think about it. When you own a dividend paying stock, you are getting paid to be a patient investor. You are literally making money while you sleep, if I can put it like that. And the best part is, you don't have to sell a single share to benefit from your investment. Take a company like Zenith Bank, for example. Zenith Bank is known to consistently reward its shareholders with massive and impressive payout. So for me, if I have extra cash, why not? I'll put it into Zenith Bank and be collecting passive income by the middle of the year and by the end of the year. I think I need to share a quick story here. You see, when I first started investing, I was all about stock price movement. But when I noticed something, those dividend payments that are coming in from some of the companies I own, when they started hitting my accounts regularly and started adding up, I could either reinvest this money to buy more shares, which would help me create like a snowball effect, or use that money as genuine passive income. And for those of you building long-term wealth, this dividend strategy can eventually fund your lifestyle. Imagine having enough dividend paying stocks that the quarterly or annual payments cover your expenses. That's actually financial freedom if you don't know. So when you are looking at Nigerian stocks, don't just focus on price movement. Check their dividend history. Companies with a track record of steady or increasing dividends are often showing you that they are financially healthy and shareholder friendly. Lesson number three is absolutely critical, which is don't chase hype. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this happen. Someone hears about a hot stock from their friend or even on social media, and they rush to start buying without doing any research. This is probably one of the fastest ways to lose money in the Nigerian stock market if you don't know. For example, I remember when Aradel Holdings announced their IPO and everyone was rushing, to go and buy the stock, thinking they will double their money quickly or will I say overnight. Yeah, it happened, but like many people still lost money. In fact, let me be clear. You see, the market doesn't care about your excitement or what's trending. It cares about fundamentals, about actual business performance. The loudest voices in the room are usually not the most informed ones. Here's what typically happens. By the time everyone is talking about a stock, smart money has already probably gotten in and this, getting out and ready to sell to new buyers who are rushing in based on FOMO, which is fear of missing out. I've made this mistake myself. I once bought a company share because everyone was talking about it and I didn't really do my homework. And guess what happened? That stock dropped by 30% in the following months. While the rest of the market was going up, the stock was going down. So it was a very crazy experience. So instead of following the crowd, learn to develop your own process of evaluating stocks and looking at things, whether the company is consistently profitable, do they have a sustainable competitive edge, is the management team, are they competent? There are some things you need to look out for before you start following the hype. You also need to check whether the stock price makes sense compared to the earnings. This is very important, guys. The Nigerian stock market rewards investors who can think independently and not those who follow the crowd. You see, sometimes the best investments are the ones nobody is talking about yet. Now, lesson number 4 might sound simple, but you'll be surprised how many people skip it. You need to understand the business before you invest. You see, when you buy a stock, you are not just buying a ticker symbol or a line on a chart or something like that. You are becoming a part owner in an actual business. So before you put your money into any company, you need to understand what that company actually does and how it makes money. Let me take Dangote Cement as an example. If you are thinking about buying shares, don't just look at the chart patterns or what analysts like me are saying. Think about Nigeria's construction boom. Consider, our massive infrastructure deficit and the constant demand for cement. Ask yourself, is this demand likely going to continue? What competitive advantage does Dangote have over other cement producers? After listening to analysts like me, you now do this, think about all this stuff I just talked about now and make your decision. Or let me say, if you are looking at investing in GTB Bank, you need to understand their business model. How do they make money? You need to look at what their loan book or let's say loan quality looks like. Are they innovating in digital banking? These fundamentals matter far more than short-term price movements. I always tell my community members or people that follow me to invest in what you understand. If you can't explain it to a friend how a company makes money in under 30 seconds or in a minute, you probably shouldn't invest in it yet until you understand how they make money and what the business does. Here's a practical tip. Before investing in any Nigerian stock, spend at least an hour reading the company's annual report. Look at their investors presentation, check out their websites, visit their stores, or use their products if possible. This research will give you confidence when the market is volatile because you understand what you actually own. Remember, behind every stock is a business with real people, real product, and real customers. When you understand that business, you make much better investing decisions. So once you understand the business, the next step is knowing when to buy, and that brings us to lesson number 5. Understand market cycles. You see, the Nigerian stock market, like any market, moves in cycles. There are periods when everything is booming, stock prices are climbing, everyone is excited, and it feels like you cannot lose. Then there are downturns when everything is going down. People are panicking and the media makes it sound like the sky is falling. But here's the thing. If you understand these cycles, you can stay calm and even take advantage of them. For example, during economic slowdowns or when Nigeria wants to do an election, prices often drop. But for smart investors, these are buying opportunities. Let me give you a real example. After the 2020 pandemic, market crash, Nigerian bank stocks were trading at ridiculous discounted prices. Investors who understood that the market would eventually recover, started scooping up shares at beautiful prices and made solid returns when the market bounced back. The key takeaway here is that you should not get caught up in the hype when prices are going up and don't panic when they fall. understand that cycles are normal, and that the best investors know how to ride the wave. Our final lesson today is probably the one I wish someone had emphasized to me when I started investing, and that is start small but start now. One of the biggest misconceptions about investing in the Nigerian stock market is that you need a lot of money to begin. And that's simply not the truth. You don't need millions or even hundreds of thousands of naira to start your investing journey. Even that little 1,000 naira, 5,000 naira is enough to buy you shares in any company, or in most companies in Nigeria. For example, with 1,000 naira, you can get almost 5 shares in MTN. You can get 2 shares in Dangote Cement, and with various investment platforms now making it easier than ever to buy fractional shares, the barrier to entry is lower than it's ever been before. You can bring out your smartphone right now, download the Bamboo or Trove Investment app, or even the AfriInvest investment app, and get started in your journey to investing. I have got a couple of videos on the channel you can go through, or click on the card above to see how you can get started in investing. And here's why starting out actually matters so much. You see, time is the most powerful force in investing. The longer your money is in the market, the more opportunity it has to grow and compound. Someone who invested 5,000 naira monthly for 20 years will likely end up with more money than someone who waits for 10 years and then starts investing 20,000 naira monthly for the next 10 years. I remember when I first started, I was hesitant because I thought my small amount wouldn't even make a difference. But those first few investments taught me valuable lessons about how the market works and how to manage my emotions and how to evaluate companies. Lessons that became the foundation for bigger investments later on. I want you to think about those small initial investments you are making as the school fees you are paying to learn how the market works with real skin in the game. If things don't go as planned, you might not really have learned a lot because you don't have skin in the game. So if you have been waiting until you have enough money to start investing, I'm telling you now that the perfect moment will never come. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is today. Even if it's just 500 naira, 1,000 naira, get started and you're going to learn a lot. Don't be on the sideline. So there you have it, my colleagues. These are the 6 key lessons I wish someone had taught me before I started investing in the Nigerian stock market. The Nigerian stock market isn't as complicated as it seems, but you have got to approach it with the right mindset, learn to stay patient, and you'll be ahead of most investors out there. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor by smashing that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you're yet to subscribe, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and do not also share this video and join my business and investing community. Link is in the description and comment section, and see you on the next one. Deal.